Fun Games have been hard at work on an absolutely incredible port of Mortal Kombat to the Atari Jaguar. The game has been in development for quite some time, and he has documented the journey, step by step, over on his YouTube channel. You can follow the link in this video's description to see all the work, sweat, and tears that have gone into making this game, and it's quite the intricate story that we'll summarize a bit in this video. But did you know that True Fun's port isn't the first time Mortal Kombat was set to appear on the Jaguar? Believe it or not, there are signs that Mortal Kombat 3 was going to make an appearance on Atari's 64-bit Kitty Cat, but it never came to be. So what do we know about this unreleased version of Mortal Kombat 3, and what all has gone into finally bringing the world's bloodiest and one of its most iconic fighting series to the Atari? Well, let's dive in and find out. But first, if you like all things Atari and are interested in content based around it, then please subscribe and hit the bell icon to be notified whenever we upload. All we do is Atari, so if that's your bag, then you are in the right place. Okay guys, let's not dilly-dally. We need to get into Mortal Kombat's history with the Atari Jaguar. It appears that Mortal Kombat 3 was definitely announced for the Jaguar, and there was even early plans for it to hit the Jaguar first before any other home consoles. UK magazines that, well, covered the Jaguar a lot more than US media ever did, have several articles addressing the announcement and even a few minor changes to the release schedule back in 1995. The first article that can be located states that it would hit the Jag first, but the second article states that the PlayStation had gobbled up the rights for the first home port. But the Jag was not to be far behind, according to the article. They even speculated that the Jag port was to be arcade perfect, something the article claimed, well, that it would be, but they didn't want anybody to quote them. It's kind of a funny claim after following True Fun's development of the original, but let's not get into that now. Now, I haven't been able to locate any screenshots or videos attributed to the Jaguar MK3 port, but there is an interview with a former Atari employee that seems to give credence that something playable was created, at least in the testing stages of the game. Arcade Attack Retro Gaming Network interviewed Tal Funk-Bilu, who worked in Atari's quality assurance and customer service departments back in the mid-90s. His story is interesting, and a link to the article will be in the video's description, but we're interested in his comments in regards to a question about working on infamous Jaguar releases. He stated in response, and I quote, "There were a bunch of titles that never saw the light of day for a number of reasons. My two favorite were Fear and Mortal Kombat 3. Fear looked incredible, as impressive at the time as the N64 version that eventually came out. And MK3 was the best arcade conversion on the Jag. Primal Rage was a close second in my opinion. I can't say definitively why either wasn't released, but back then rumor was that Nintendo paid H2O for Fear exclusivity, and MK3 died due to contract issues." End quote. This would lead you to believe that this gentleman played the Jaguar version of Mortal Kombat 3. So an alpha or beta has to be out there somewhere, right? Well, not that we know of, at least not anything that's definitive. But the existence of the game in some capacity doesn't seem to be questioned. There are emails and faxes to Probe Software about translating code from the PlayStation version and acquiring the help of the person who ported MK1 to the PC in order to do the job on the Jaguar. The dispute seems to be about how far the project got into development, with some claiming it didn't get further than a character select screen. But these are all little tidbits based off of vague memories, conversations, and communications between people in the industry. And one thing can be said for certain, Mortal Kombat 3 was planned to some extent to be on the Jaguar, but it was eventually canceled and forgotten. And it makes sense, as by 1995, the writing was on the wall for the Jag. I think it could have been a great port, fun for fans of the console, but I doubt it would have been the Jaguar's savior. And by the time it would have came out, well, any game that came out had a snowball's chance in hell of succeeding, or selling a ton of units. If any more information comes to light on this MK3 port, I will definitely report on it. But I'd like to move on to something that's amazing and concrete for the Atari Jaguar, and it's still Mortal Kombat related. And that's the incredible release of Mortal Kombat on the Jag. True Fun Games has done an incredible job of documenting the process and showing off the build as things progress. He's put it all out there for us, and the end product will be an open and freely available ROM for all people to enjoy and play. Heck, he's even given the Jaguar port its own exclusive warrior called Kasumi, an obvious reference to Kasumi Ninja, but I would love for him to change the ninja's colors to orange and call him Habuki instead, simply because Kasumi wasn't a playable fighter in that game and Habuki was, and orange is not used as far as I know for the ninjas in Mortal Kombat. The red makes me think of Ermac, but this is all splitting hairs. The man is giving us an incredible port and some awesome nods to the Atari community. Like for instance, contributors' heads are in the stage fatality of the game. You know, the spikes at the bottom of the pit? Those are people that have donated and supported the project. It's just a cool nod to the people who made all of this possible and are helping True Fun Games financially. But the coolest thing of all is informing the community of the progress and showing them the concessions that had to be made to create this port. Initially, he was going to try to use all the arcade assets, and while it seemed possible on paper, it was clear that limitations would prevent this from working smoothly. But it seems he found workarounds using other assets from other ports, and it's all just come together incredibly well. The first alpha that was released some months ago was little more than a proof of concept, but the newest 0.02 alpha showcases an incredible amount of progress to this point. The character bios are used as introductions to the tower or arcade mode, and the moves and fatalities are programmed in and working as expected. Now there are some aspects still missing, notably the boss characters, but this game is in an alpha state after all. And you can play it now on your game drive by becoming a backer of True Fun Games on Patreon, and I absolutely recommend this. I have been supporting this man for months now, and being able to get my hands on the next playable build has made it very worthwhile. And who knows, in the hands of this very capable programmer, perhaps we'll get a port of MK3 to the console yet. Just maybe. The amount of love, time, and work that's gone into this port of Mortal Kombat is just incredible, and it's going to be playable on a console with a relatively tiny fan base. It's a labor of love, not one designed to make a lot of profit or gain of clout. And that's why True Fun Games should be celebrated, supported, and encouraged to continue this path in the future. Again, a link to their YouTube channel and Patreon will be in the description. And if you want to support anybody in the Atari community financially, well, I believe this is the person that will give us the most for our buck. Please, support them moving into the future. But with all that said, it's time to wrap up this video. But first I want to hear from all of you. Do you have any more information about Mortal Kombat 3 on the Jaguar? Was it going to be a CD or cartridge release, as that seems to be up in the air still? Outside of that, are you excited for Mortal Kombat on the Jag? Are you going to support True Fun Games, or have you already been doing so? And do you think Kasumi should become the orange Habuki ninja instead, or am I just being too literal? Let me know your opinions on all this, and more in the comments down below. And please, consider leaving a like, subscribing, and checking out our Discord server. There you can chat with other classy Atarians all about your favorite consoles and games. And consider supporting the Atari Network on Patreon. These people have, and I couldn't thank them enough. Thanks to them, we can continue to cover new games, products, and do giveaways at subscriber milestones. Like at 5,200 subscribers, for example. You don't want to miss that. So thank you for all the support and contributions. And with all that said, it's time to say goodbye. I'm the 7800 Pro Gamer, a four-armed champion of the blood sport known as the Atari Network, and I'd like to thank you all for watching. And as always, remember to stay classy, Atarians.
Finishers.